What a few days it's been since the first preseason game. How about that? But before we get into the hubbub, make sure you like and subscribe. We had some new subscribers since the last one, so great. Thank you. Keep
Thank you
sharing,
so much. We
keep
appreciate you.
subscribing. We appreciate you all. It's amazing. We want you to continue to grow our family. Also, be active in the chat and the comments and the recorded videos. That's great too. We appreciate all of that. So let's get right into it. We have a lot to unpack. We had our first preseason game versus the Vikings. We had some challenges with that were clearly identified very quickly, especially when it comes to uh, Jackson Blue Tint Dart.
Jackson Blue Tent Dart.
It's his new nickname. It's his new nickname.
You
So
know, that's what happens though when you advertised yourself as a tough guy at quarterback, at not so intimidating of a build, I might add, and said you were going to come into the NFL and running people over. I still refer to that clip where he's talking to John Gruden, and John Gruden said, "What are you going to do when you got a 6'3", 250-pound linebacker in the middle of the field, ready to take your head off?" He said, "I'm gonna run right through him."
yeah, well,
That didn't age well. It
no,
continues to not age well.
it's not
It's going to continue to not age well. The more he says that, and the more he gets ran over.
not good.
This is why you have to be careful what you say in the social media era as an athlete. Everyone has receipts, and they hold you accountable to what you say. Jackson Dart came in here acting like Mr. Tough Guy, and now he's got people scared that he's not going to be able to finish or even make it through first few 5 seasons. Jesus. Can we please use our brains, not for contact, but
Not
for
forgot.
but for protection, please. Like let's
Oh
just use
my
our brains
God.
the right way.
Yeah.
So you have that situation. Yes, of course, Jackson Dart did score a touchdown and connect with Malachi Fields, which is going to be great. That was a great foreshadow for the season. We really hope to see more of that. And we really hope to see Malachi Fields take pressure away from Malik Neighbors once he's healthy and on the field. We'll have someone who needs to be double covered in Malik Neighbors, and that'll free up Malachi Fields, who will then hopefully draw some attention away from Malik Neighbors. And then now you'll be able to throw the ball to whoever you want on the field, especially Isaiah Likely, your guaranteed third down converter and red zone touchdown scorer. You have the setup for success. You just have to execute. Now that we have John Harbaugh, guess what potentially could get executed? That equation. But we need to make sure people stay on the field, and we need to make sure people are consistent and are locked in. Because some people, like Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo, want to fool around in the offseason and give off the vibe that they're just, it's hype, they're here. But that's not going to cut it for the Big Blue team. We need you to lock in and show that you're ready to play. Are you ready to talk about the next segment, Mom? I think we need to just talk about the most recent moves that actually happened today.
Yeah. All right, go
Giants
ahead.
traded veteran
Bye.
offensive lineman Daniel Falele. That is the bum that we took from the Ravens, and we just brought him here as depth to compete with Evan Neal. So we already know that that was going to be a disaster. It was a
Right.
matter of who was the bigger bum, both literally and
I almost
figuratively.
spit out my word. Who is the bigger bum?
That's what it came down to. Who was the bigger bum? The bigger bum got given the boot to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who may or may not find a way to use him because they do a lot of zone blocking. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not the right system for him. John Harbaugh should have known that it wasn't going to work, considering if it didn't work with the Ravens, and then he takes his Ravens way and brings it to New York, and then you bring somebody who didn't work in your current formula that you had in Baltimore. It didn't make sense to bring him over to try to do the same thing again. But it is what it is. We got rid of him when we needed to get rid of him.
He's
We got a
out.
draft pick, which I think is good. That at least we got something for him. Unlike moves in the past where we're just giving people away, I'm never
Yeah.
going to get over it.
No.
Anyway, uh, outside of him, the other big move today that happened was Najee Harris. We'll get to the Jake Hayner situation in a sec, but
Well, that was in the
Najee
last.
Harris.
Najee was yesterday.
Hold on. Take it easy. Take it easy. I don't
All
got to
right.
be accurate. I'm not a professional. Like I just said, we recently got Najee Harris, the running back who was just from the LA Chargers. Mind you, he's coming off of an Achilles tear, so that's obviously a red flag. We are taking somebody who clearly wants to prove that he still has fuel in the tank, which I think is still good. That's good because somebody who wants to prove themselves that they can still be valuable in the NFL has a lot to lose. When you're a player that has a lot to lose, you tend to give it your all more. So, not only do we get depth out of him, although he is damaged goods, you get depth. You have a veteran running back that can help. I don't want to say coach up or mentor, but you know, I guess give a little tips to Cam Scadaboo, who already seems to be handling his own. But Najee Harris, somebody who's done a lot in his young early days in his first 3 years of this league with Pittsburgh Steelers, he knows what that success can come with, and he knows what that kind of mindset you have to continue to be that productive. Because he was very consistent for his first 3 seasons. He only got cut short in this fourth season because of an injury. So we didn't get to see what he was going to be like with the Chargers. But now we'll get to see what he's going to be like with Big Blue. Because
Harbaugh referred to him as a big dude.
he's not a big dude.
That's what he said. That's what it says right here in the trade information in the signings.
I mean,
That's
that's
what it
great and
says.
all. I don't care what it says. He's 6'1", 232.
I get.
That
That's why I mentioned it because I'm looking at his stats there, and I'm not. But Harbaugh's good at conjecture. So perhaps maybe he's just saying what he's saying just to pump it up.
I
I
mean, he's
mean,
6'1". 6'1" is actually big for a running back. That is
for a
true.
running back, right?
But like, I mean, he's not like Derrick Henry. He's not a big like Derrick Henry. He's not big like Saquon in the sense of the tree trunk legs.
Right,
So
right,
like Saquon's the same weight as him. Actually, Saquon weighs a little more than him. He's just shorter. But
right,
Saquon to me appears larger than Najee Harris. But what do I know? I've never stood next to the guy.
right.
But
So, in that same move, we released Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know that I had any sort of fantasies about him being some sort of a great addition to the wide receiver core, but perhaps maybe they saw something that they didn't like and they thought it was worth getting a running back. I think this is great with Najee because we do need more depth of that. Because we got Dante Miller. That was somebody we got rid of too, right?
yeah, but I don't understand why we need another running back when um, what's his face, the guy who I don't like, Devin Singletary, actually showed promise with some plays. Even though I hate to admit it, he showed like he wanted to stay on the team. And Devin Singletary, I don't know what happened. I'm guessing him and John Harbaugh had a conversation because Devin Singletary was running for his life in that
It
preseason
seemed
game.
like he had a renewed sense of belonging.
It seemed like somebody told him he was going to get fired. I don't know because the way he was running like he was going to lose his job the next day. That's how he was playing. And I need him to play like that every game, especially since he's a veteran running back and he's wearing 26. He can't wear number 26 and do what he did the last season and the season before that. It was very inconsistent. One game he played great. The next few, you forgot he was the Giant. That can't happen. It can't happen. He needs to be very consistent. And I think also, we got to realize here, Mom, Cam Scadaboo, Tyrone Chase Jr., Najee Harris, what do they all have in common? They have 5 years or less of experience in the league. They're
Yeah.
all younger than him. So he's got to prove that even though he's a veteran running back, he can still give them as much as these young guys can. So, it also seems to me that maybe they don't trust that Cam Scadaboo could make it through a whole season. I don't know. I feel like they're just preparing for things that normally we did not prepare for in the past. Um, we seem to always be going for depth whenever we get these people because you look at Jake Hayner, although we have already 3 quarterbacks, not the best backup and third string options, but we have 3 quarterbacks. They go in and get Jake Hayner, the second homeboy announced his retirement. I forget who it was. It doesn't really matter.
Webb. What was it? Sam Webb? Was that him?
Sam Webb. There you go. Thank you, Mom. I thank you. When you say
The
you retire
mother.
at that
The
point, I don't
mother
care.
is good. The mother is good.
Yes, she's good with names. Not me. Once you say you retire, I kind of just block you out. That's it. It's like, all
Right.
right. Unless you were somebody who's like, of a caliber name. Like if Justin Tuck was still playing and he was like, I'm retiring. Obviously, I remember him. But Sam Webb, he didn't do anything for the
Right.
Giants.
Right. We didn't know who he was, and
Yeah.
they didn't need to replace
Respectfully,
his.
of course.
They didn't need to replace his position, so they brought in
No,
another QB, which we need. We need depth at QB. I
because
mean, that
Jackson
was
Dart does not stay healthy.
he puts himself in danger. He's got an old line that still is flimsy at best.
it's getting better. It's a day by day thing. They're moving. They're progressing in a general upward trend. That's all that really matters right now for the offensive line, because we can't sit here and expect them to be uh, drastically improved just because John Harbaugh is in the mix now with a whole different coaching system and staff. We have to assume that they're going to be maybe slightly better than what they were last season. Outside of the key players like Illuminor and Andrew Thomas, the elite ones, it's just Thomas needs to stay on the field. That's his issue. If he can stay on the field, we're good. My mom's hovering over Malik Neighbors. What we got? He
This is
participated in
from
team
Monday.
drills. Okay, so he participated in team drills. He made it 2 in a row on Monday and took a step further with a handful of catches during competitive periods, including a leaping grab. He says he's feeling good. All right, I'll take it. At least we know that he's practicing and he's more consistent with practice.
Right.
He's not taking breaks, unlike Cam Scadaboo, who took a hit apparently and went off the sideline after he did some stretches. But we saw him play because that happened before the preseason game. But it seems like we're moving in a positive direction slowly. I don't
Yeah.
want to get too excited. We have to keep ourselves humble and hungry. Yeah, I think we'll be good with Calvin Austin, I believe his name is, and Malachi Fields as our lead receivers, and maybe Odell Beckham. I don't know if Odell Beckham's actually going to be a starter. If Malik Neighbors was to be out, I don't know if he's a starter, but it's possible. If Malik Neighbors is a starter, I don't think Odell Beckham is going to be on the starting receiver lineup. I just don't know. I don't know.
I already see rumors that he's going to be cut. I saw that
Well, there
today.
you go.
When they mentioned Juju getting released in that same line, and again, I don't remember what the source was. They said that they feel that OBJ will be next in that position.
It
They'll
just
be
makes
cut.
sense. I mean, we're going in a general direction of youth here. And Harbaugh said during the preseason game, there was a quote of him saying that just because you have tenure, or I don't even want to say tenure, just because you're a veteran in this league, doesn't automatically make you the starter or solidify you on the roster. If there are people who are
Doesn't.
younger than you or have less experience that show more promise and higher upside, they're going to take your slot on the roster. And he's already showing that by getting rid of people like Juju Smith-Schuster and potentially going to be cutting Odell Beckham. Who knows? Will I be upset if that happens? Not really.
Not
Because,
half as much as Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart with the fanboys of OBJ.
yeah, I mean, but who cares what they want because they haven't even won anything. So, like, that doesn't even matter. Like,
Next.
I could give a rat's ass if the quarterback and the running back are upset that Odell Beckham's not on the roster. They just need to lock in and worry about their own legacy. And they don't need to worry about some old head that's going to hype them up more than they already hyped themselves up, because they are a duo that feeds off of each other. Jackson Dart feeds off of Cam the same way that Cam feeds off of Jackson Dart, and the whole team thrives on their energy. If OBJ's not here, OBJ's not here. He's had his time as an NFL player. Uh, all of his injuries unfortunately cut his career short. His career could have been way better than what it was. I feel like we hold him at
Facts.
a lot higher regard
Regard.
as a receiver
Absolutely. We do.
if
Yeah.
he never got injured so many times. He had
Yeah.
so many injuries.
Well, we hold him at a high regard
Now,
now just because of the notoriety he got for that catch, right?
yep. When's the last time you saw a Giants wide receiver take a slant to the house? It was
We talk.
OBJ.
Yeah, it's true.
OBJ would take slants to the house. He took a 5-10 yard slant to the house, ran it for like 60, 70 yards. MetLife Stadium, I have to find the clip. MetLife Stadium erupted when the ball hit his hands. It was like calm. All of a sudden, it erupted. I'm talking like that was like a top 5 stadium eruption that was caused by a player's catch and score for a touchdown. That is one of my favorite moments from his career too. That crazy play, and we
Right.
haven't seen a New York Giants receiver do that in a very long time. But OBJ is not who he once was. We just have to accept that. If he gets cut, at least we gave him the respect to give him another shot. We welcomed him with open arms, and we wished him good luck on the way out, if that's the case. So
Yeah.
we need to worry about Malachi Fields, Malik Neighbors, and Calvin Austin, I believe his name is. We need to worry about them. We don't need to worry about nobody else. Just worry about those 3 young guys. Calvin Austin really is the guy that you have to watch out for this year. Darius Slayton, I'm wearing his jersey right now. I'm gonna say this right now with a straight face. Who cares? Like, I used to laugh about Darius Slayton, but I'm gonna be serious right now about him. Who cares if he underperforms this year? he is honestly there to just be a third or fourth option. We no
Yeah,
longer need to utilize him as the forced number one and number two option we tried, because we definitely forced that for years. But now that he is like a third or fourth option, it's not that big a deal. But clearly, the Giants made a lot of moves for the roster in this last week and a half alone, and filling in many
last couple
positions.
of days. How about
Last
that?
couple of days too, but still, week and a half still stands, and that they made a lot of moves in the last week and a half. So I think this will show that the Giants are not messing around. Any sort of unexpected changes that happen to the roster, they're prepared to make the moves that they need to. And don't be surprised if they make moves before the trade deadline during the season. So, will Najee Harris be effective for the New York Giants offense? I say yes. I think if he's not going to be a starting running back, you can make him the third down running back. You know what I mean? Like, we have options. If the roster ends up filling and we have 3 to 4 running backs, you have options on who to make the third down running back. Maybe Devin Singletary's third down running back. Maybe Devin Singletary is just specifically for passing plays, screens, play action. I don't know, whatever. Cam Scatterbu could do play action because he's going to block. He's low to the ground and he's strong, so he'd be a good blocker in the pocket. So
Right.
and then Tyron Tracy Jr. you could use for more aggressive fast plays, like running up the middle or hitting the B gap to the outside, somewhere in between the tackles. We have means to change the way our identity now. We don't have to do the one dimensional same crap
It's true.
where it's run, pass, run, run, screen, pass, interception. Like this.
What if we were to talk about a game, the preseason, first preseason game? You know, the flaw. You know, a lot of the flaws were clear, but what did you think of the plays in comparison to what we've seen in previous coaching years with Dayball and whatnot? What did you feel like there was a difference that as far as the play calls go?
Well, the play calls were definitely different because it was a more aggressive style of running. It was a more aggressive style of play anyway, in general. I think what was key is that we actually used our tight ends on third down conversions to get first
Yeah,
downs. We haven't done that in a long time. In fact,
yeah.
we only would do it. I feel like they would tease us. Brian Dayball would give it to what was his name? Daniel Bellinger. He'd give it to Daniel Bellinger. He'd
Mhm.
get a big first down conversion. I'd be like, great, this is what we've been needing. Use the tight ends. And then for the rest of the freaking game, never throws to him again.
Right.
We only did it the one time because it's preseason. But the fact that our first third down on that first drive we had was a conversion first down pass to Isaiah Likely shows that John Harbaugh is going to be competent and is going to actually play
Oh,
typical football and not try to do things off the book, like how Brian Dayball was trying to make these weird gadget plays and do all this weird stuff, trying to run a screen pass on like 3rd and 13, or doing a halfback draw on 3rd and 13, thinking that it's going to mess up the defense. No, we did the typical. We went to the tight end on third down, the hardest matchup for a defense. Athletic tight end like Isaiah Likely, that's one of the hardest matchups you'll have. And we got the first down, and we proceeded to move down the football field. Now, in terms of intensity on both sides of the football, no matter who was out there, I could see that they didn't give up. They were all playing hard to the whistle.
I felt that too. Yeah.
It was very different. It felt more like a football team. It didn't feel like they just were out there volunteering. Like, because sometimes under Brian Dayball, it felt.
Volunteering.
I mean, I'm being real. Sometimes they wouldn't run all the way to the end of the whistle.
Even Dante Miller being waived and put on IR, they probably, the old team, would have left him there on
Yep,
like
they
that.
would have just left them there. They would have just been like, "Yeah, we'll
But
figure it
they
out when the time
literally,
comes."
he was on hurt on Sunday, announced he was hurt and on IR, waived, and then and then done, then released. That was quick decision making, freeing up
They're not
cap
wasting
space.
time.
They're not wasting time and not letting people just hold on to salaries where we can have bodies that are ready to play. So
Right.
there is some improvement on that because
Because they
I'm
wasted. Think about how much they wasted on these people on IR. Oh my
sure
god,
we've wasted a lot of opportunity with having guys sitting on IR for months.
squandered opportunities, as you say.
Squandered opportunities
Squandered
as
opportunities.
all the time. But yeah, that was definitely a big change, and maybe even Joe Shane is inspired by John Harbaugh.
I'm
I
sure
don't
John Harbaugh's telling them we gotta get rid of this guy. I don't got no time to waste.
know.
Because John Harbaugh's a winner now. He doesn't waste time. Winners do not waste time. They get
No.
to the point. If you're not executing, you got to go. Period. That's all. There's no explanations needed. There's no sorries to be had. It's just sorry. Look, even though I said there's no sorries, it's just sorry. You're just not good enough. We got to let you go. And that's it. It's all business. It's nothing personal. If you don't fit the mission, got to go. So, and that's why I like John Harbaugh. He handles his business. Brian Daboll was hurdling through a lot of hoops, but had no issues being disrespectful to his coaching staff based on how Wink Martindale felt and resigned. So, the evidence is there. So, I think we just have to see how the second game goes with our backups and whoever else will be playing at the helm, whoever it may be. Um, we don't have to take too much of it too serious or heavy. If something bad happens, if it's a bad game, it's a bad game. As long as we're not like the Philadelphia Eagles and how they lost to the Ravens, we don't want to get absolutely spanked and get embarrassed. Because, look, the Eagles are going to have misery later on when they have to realize that Jalen Hurts is not the guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Mom, do you have anything else that you want to say?
No, I think we've said all of our piece. I mean, we haven't talked about the Dolphins game. I mean, that's one other thing we kind of teased as part of this episode today.
True. And there's not really much to say about that, though. They're not going to be playing their starters. The only thing that's going to come down to is will we see more Malachi Fields? Will we be able to see a little more Cam Scatterboo? I just want to see a little bit of them, a little more of them. Maybe see some other receivers get some play time. I want to see certain defenders get some play time. I want to see what our backups could do. This is the time to see what our depth is going to be like. Because if the starters go down, which we know in Giants past, they have, do the backups fulfill that role? At the minimum, can they be a body out there we can rely on? Will they give us some sort of passion, fervor, intensity, whatever? Can we get it from them? We don't want
Can we
anybody that's
get
going
it
to
from
fold
them?
over and give up. We saw
Yeah,
a lot of that over the last like 8 years. I'm done. Tired of it. I
yeah.
need energy.
Just a quick question. You don't think Harbaugh's going to do play calling, right? He's not going
I
to.
don't see why not, but he may not.
I mean, like Dayball forced it. Like he did. He always did. He took on that role from day one,
Hmm.
and he didn't let his offensive coordinator really do that. I don't know. Maybe John Hargaugh's more of a team play, literally a team player, and maybe allows his actual coordinators to do their jobs in live games. Because that will be new too. Because I
Well,
think the last couple of coaches, our coaches insisted on play calling during the game.
well, I just looked it up. He doesn't call his own plays. He lets the offense coordinator
So
do his
that
thing and the defense do his thing.
so that would be new for us in a long time. We haven't had that. The last few crappy coaches that we had insisted on play calling.
But that's the problem. When you want to have too much control over everything
Exactly.
then falls on you, further
Exactly.
creating more stress for you, which
Yep.
also makes managing the game that much more harder because you are stressing yourself out.
Exactly.
When you could
Exactly.
spread the power and the wealth to everyone else, so that way they could focus on one thing and the other person focus on the other, and all you have to do is keep people locked in on the mission, which is
Right.
win the game.
Right.
Offense coordinator says do this, you do it. Defense coordinator says do that, you do it. You don't have to all come to this one person who's going to decide everything. It
Right.
becomes too much. It's too much.
Yeah. So that's a fresh perspective that we're going to have for this team, where the head coach is not doing other guys' jobs, not insisting on doing other
Thank
guys'
God.
jobs.
Let them play. Let them manage. Let them coach.
Let them do what they were hired to
They
do.
probably have different lingo that they use that you use, and therefore you're trying to force the players to get rid of the lingo they learned from the coordinators so that they can follow your way. That's very Brian Dable esque. Brian Dable wanted everything to be done by his way and
Yep.
no one else's. And that just doesn't fly in a team sport. That's not how that works, especially not in
I
football.
even I even saw that and heard the commentators. I was watching the New York broadcast, so I was
Hmm.
doing. Phil Simms was on. All some of our legends were the commentators, and they were talking about Matt Nagy, our offensive coordinator, and how he's trying to figure out if he's going to be up in the booth, and above the field, or is he going to be on the field? Like he's gonna. They said that he's gonna. He's doing. He was in the booth, I think, for the first game. He's gonna try to call play calls from the field. I like the fact that that's even that we're talking about that because again, we had these arrogant, jerky coaches who just that it didn't matter where the OC was because the head coach was doing everything during the
The
game.
camera was
So
always on the head coach too. Never. Other games though, you would see the other coaches. You see the coordinator, the defensive back. There's the defense coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ba 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 ba. When it's the Giants, it's like there's Brian Daboll, and that's it.
yes, that's
It's
it.
just there's Brian
It's
Daboll,
true.
and that,
It's
it
true.
was always just they were looking for angry Brian Daboll. That's it. Angry, screaming, crash out Brian. I'm gonna call him Crash Out BD. That's his new name, Crash Out BD. That's it.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about that, and because that should yield better results for us by having more brains involved in the outcomes of our drives.
Absolutely, yeah. So still things to be excited about, still things to be skeptical about. The good thing is that there's more to be excited about, especially since we're still showing that we're going to make moves probably until the trade deadline. Another thing the Giants didn't really do. Giants
Nah.
during the season, once
Yeah.
it's season time, what we have is what we have.
What we have is what we have, including the waived in IR guys that just remained on those, and no one looked at them again. They were just like, we can't use them, and that was it. So you're right. That this the and I did see that Harbaugh was saying, and Joe, it might have been Joe Shane, both of them. I don't know. I can't remember which one, but one of them said we are having conversations actively. That was before the first preseason game. I saw that
Okay,
we are active in having conversations.
that's good. Good.
So yeah,
It needs to happen
yeah,
for a team that's been in rebuild for almost 15 years. This needs to happen. This is what you do to change your program and your organization. You have to commit and be aggressive and competitive.